Thank you, Chair. I'd like to thank all the witnesses for being here today. And I apologize the way you've been treated here by my colleagues. This is a committee. We ask questions, and you respond to those questions. And if you're not given an opportunity to respond to your questions, I don't think there's a point of asking questions. First of all, I wanted to give you an opportunity to respond to those questions if you have any question to respond by my colleague, so you can give your side of the story, please.
No, so I'm happy with the responses that I gave to Mr. Leslie. I'll turn it, though, to my colleague, Ms. Upton, to further elaborate.
Yeah, I can just give a few statistics. So, I have a list of over 14 projects from 2018 in Jasper related to mechanical tree removal, as well as prescribed burns that have been going on. We do on average about 12, 13 prescribed burns a year. In Parks Canada, we plan for those. We have a directive. Each site has fire management plans, outlines their prevention and fire reduction strategies. That includes prescribed burns. Those are planned for annually at the local level with support from the national level. And we take every opportunity we can. Prescribed fires, however, are dependent on particular conditions, like prescriptions to be correct in order to light those fires. And that has become more challenging recently with the fire season starting longer and starting earlier and going longer. And prescribed fires take place in the spring and the fall. But we have invested a lot of money, and we've had an additional $52 million over 5 years to help us continue to do more work on the prevention as well as the suppression side. Thanks.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. Chair, how did the lesson learned process from the 2023 wildfire season aid in the preparation and mitigation measures for this wildfire season? Anyone can.
Yeah, I'm happy to elaborate. So last year, as everyone recalls, was the single worst fire season in Canadian history by any number of measures. Smoke, there were 200,000 folks evacuated. We had 15 million hectares burned. We had 5,000 international firefighters arrive to help us. So last year, obviously, was very significant. The implications of that for a repeat this year were not lost on anyone. Our colleagues in Environment Canada and NRCan predicted, unfortunately, that the drought conditions that we're seeing in the West, pervasive drought, pervasive heat, were going to continue this year, and the only variables that can change is the amount of precipitation you get. So very late in the season last year, when the fires started to die down, which was October, which is extremely unusual, and as you recall, there were 100 fires that continued burning underground under snow that we call zombie fires in BC and Northwest Territories. So we took lessons learned, started very early last fall. It was a national consultation, talked to every province, to CIFC, NRCan, Indigenous groups, and we came up with a series of lessons learned that we presented to the government in the fall. We also then accelerated everything we do in terms of preparation for this year. Normally, we go to Cabinet in May with a risk assessment that's provided by the best available science federally and provincially. That happened, I believe, in March of this year. So it was to bring that science up 3 months is a very difficult thing to do, and we did that. We engaged every province. We know that CIFC and others looked for international assistance much earlier than normal. Yeah.
I have a couple more questions, and I wanted to ask that the people who are making decisions on fire suppression, do they live in that community, and would they be affected by the wildfire?
If you're talking about Jasper, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So the person responsible for wildfire management, the person responsible for vegetation reduction, the person responsible for the program of fire smarting, all live in the town. So 2 of those individuals lost their home. I have a hard time imagining the motivation of anybody not to do everything possible when you live in a town, your family lives in a town, your life is in that town, not to do everything possible in order to protect your town.
Thank you. We'll go now to